All right, thank you very much. Good evening, honorable members, and welcome to today's meeting. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening, Right Honorable. Good
Yeah, thank you
evening,
very
Speaker.
much. We'll start with a prayer. So let's be in the mood of prayer. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Youth Government System of NCR 2250. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the youth president and his ministers. Endow youth members of parliament with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of this international youth network, the interests and wishes of the members may be well and truly served, and thy good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision for our network, fair as it might be, a network of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a network of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a network of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a network of peace, where the youth government shall rest on the will of its members and the love for the common good. Bless the effort of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thoughts, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of the youth government system of the International Youth Network of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 2250, Ghana and Africa. Amen.
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 So, honorable members, I would like us to take an opening statement from the majority leader.
Mr. Speaker, I am I audible enough?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity to give my opening statements to the motion before the House. This motion is one of a kind, and it's not new to the House in the sense that it was previously debated in our previous sitting that was held at the National Theatre on the 2nd of August. So, for those who were present, can actually recall the motion that the House introduces a legal age cap for presidential and parliamentary candidates in Ghana. And Speaker, this motion was debated, and then recommendations popped up. And as I engaged Speaker, we'd want to further debate this motion and also make a recommendation or a proponent to the Constitutional Review Committee set up by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to actually look at the legal framework or the constitutional reforms currently underway. So it is my pleasure to introduce the motion once again to the House and encourage all members to contribute meaningfully to the motion, because I have also urged already that we prepare adequately to contribute to the motion. So in that regard, I still stand by the side there must be a legal age cap for our presidential and parliamentary candidates, because it is important that once we've had an age limit for them for young people to cast or exercise their franchise, to exercise their voting rights, it is equally important that we have an age limit for those that will stand in for these various offices for them to be voted for. I made reference to some African countries especially where we see people that are weak, that are not fit, that are not energetic, and despite their strength and then their medical conditions, they still stand up for political roles or stand up in governance, which at the end of the day, they will not be able to deliver. And then we are seeing these things very clear. And as youth, it is time for us to make this proposal to the necessary authorities, and we rather adopt a maximum age limit for a person. Once you've crossed that age limit, you wouldn't have the right or the mandate to stand for any political role. So I urge my colleagues from the minority, I don't know if minority leader, my very good friend Isaac Etonam has joined. Uh, I believe that with the proponent we are making, it is not majority or it is not minority decision, but rather what we believe that it will move our country forward, where we will have people who really understand and are energetic enough to lead the country towards a direction of development and then economic stability. So in that regard, I shall make my opening statement um, for the House to debate. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
All right, thank you, uh, Honorable Majority Leader. Minority Leader, your opening statement. Do you have the minority leader? Sorry, minority leader. Do you have minority leader here? Deputy minority leader.
All right. Good evening,
Good evening.
House. I believe you're all doing great. Um, Thank you so much. The Honorable Speaker of Parliament, the House, fellow Honorable Members. I greet you this very evening. I think the motion for the House has already been um, clarified. We've had interactions on that in our first sitting. And it so interests me that we are having this very motion again. So I'll just go straight to my submission and my opening remarks from the minority side. Even as we gather today to deliberate on this very motion that proposes to introduce a legal age cap for parliamentary and presidential elections, I believe and I understand Emmanuel and the deputy minority leader for this very house. I believe and understand that the enthusiasm and then the optimism that drives this very proposal, that is introducing a legal age cap for parliamentary and presidential elections. I firmly believe that this very motion would be a misguided step in a sense that it actually undermines the very foundations of our democracy. So even as we debate again and consider this very motion, let us not forget the value of experience. Let us not also forget the value of wisdom and then the will of the people. Let us also not restrict the choices of the electorate, but rather we should trust in the democratic process to guide us towards a very brighter future. I believe if you are going to go by this, we will have a glorious parliament and they will come out with the best policies and decisions for the entire nation. Thank you. Right Honourable Speaker.
All right, thank you very much, Deputy Minority Leader. Thank you, the leaders of the House, for such a powerful statement. Uh, the motion before this House today is this House introduces a legal age cap for presidential and parliamentary candidates in Ghana. May I request that an honorable member move a motion for us to debate on the motion? Anyone, an honorable member, can do us a favor to move a motion for us to debate.
Speaker. Thank you,
All
Speaker.
right. Majesty.
Yes, thank you very much, Speaker, for the opportunity. My name is Samson Sechuafia, Youth MP for Afadjato South, Majority Leader of the Second Parliament. I hereby move a motion that this House debates the motion that is laid before the House, and I quote, "This House introduces a legal age cap for presidential and parliamentary candidates in Ghana." I so move. I thank you, Speaker.
All right. Thank you very much, our able majority leader. Motion moved. Now, a seconder. A seconder to the motion.
Okay, I second to the motion.
All right. Thank you very much, honorable member. All right. Motion moved and seconded. Now the floor is open for us to debate on the
Mr. Speaker,
motion.
please, I have an indication.
All right.
Yes, thank
Go
you.
ahead.
I want to indicate that I am also in a very tight position now. I have my deputy fully representing the caucus and other members. So uh, I would may not be stable on the line, but I have my deputy that is on the line. So probably he will lead the caucus in deliberation. Thank you, Speaker.
All right. Thank you. Well noted. Majority caucus. One should start with the motion. One of you should start. Hello.
Hello, Right Honourable Speaker.
All right. All right. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. My name is Agoa Gideon Julius, Youth MP for Anglo Constituency, and I am the deputy to Honourable Sechuafia,
Okay.
the Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, I would want to plead to the whole House that this motion that we are discussing this evening has to do with the fortunes of this nation. It has to do with the future of this nation. And so I would want to seek the indulgence of all other participating honorable members that let us all solicit behind this motion, irrespective of your caucus or irrespective of your opinion. This evening, we have to agree that there has to be a legal age cap for both presidential and parliamentary candidates. Right Honourable Speaker, in my presentation at our opening ceremony, I made it clear, and I still stand behind my opinion and my position, that this country, Ghana, needs to have a legal age cap. What we are saying is not an issue or a mutiny we are inciting to displace our elderly people in leadership. Mr. Speaker, that is not the case. Other people might argue that leadership needs experience, and so the elderly people has to still lead us because of the so-called experience they mention. Mr. Speaker, experience cannot be measured by age alone. Age is just a number, and therefore, and the opportunity has to be given to the younger brains, the sharper brains, the energetic brains, those who can stay overnight on development. Right, Honorable Speaker, let us look at the history of Africa. It's like we are forgetting about our history, and as long as we are forgetting about our history, we will forget about our future, because our history has its role in shaping our future. Right, Honorable Speaker, the very first person or the very engineer of African liberation is our late hero, Osadefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is clear of his age, how old he was when he stood that Africa has to be liberated, and he started with Ghana. Right, Honorable Speaker, Thomas Sankara was assassinated at age 37. He spent 4 years in office before he was assassinated. Right, Honorable Speaker, the policies and the development that Burkina Faso saw under his tenure is mind-blowing. Even when we look at Europe, the young Emmanuel Macron is one other person who we can talk about leading France. So, Right Honorable Speaker, this shouldn't take much of our time to agree that no, Ghana needs an age cap for presidential and parliamentary candidates to give the opportunity to the younger brains and the sharper brains. Mr. Speaker, I will stop here and listen to the other colleagues from the other side of the house. And Mr. Speaker, by saying so, I believe that all of us will agree before this sitting is adjourned that we need an age cap, and our recommendations will thereby we see the way forward, and we will see the future of this country. Thank you so much. Right Honorable Speaker.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your submission. Now, minority caucus, any indication from your end?
All right. Thank you. All right, Honorable Speaker. Into the majority, deputy majority leader. Thank you for your submission. Um, right, Honorable Speaker, if I heard the deputy majority leader very, very clearly, think just as they missed the thin line in this very motion during the first sitting, I think they've actually repeated the same error in missing it again. Why do I say that? I say this because they always get this debate in the sect or in the analogy that we should give opportunities to the younger ones instead of the aged. But this is not what the motion is about. The motion is clearly stated that we have introduced a legal age cap for parliamentary and presidential elections. It did not restrict us to whether or not opportunities should be given to the younger ones in the expense of the aged. So I want to state emphatically clear that they have again gotten it wrong. So, Right Honorable Speaker, these are our propositions or our submissions from the minority side. We strongly believe and we will continually stand by our notion that the legal age gap should not be introduced. Why? Because everybody can bear us out that experience and wisdom matter in every administration. There is no successful administration, irrespective of the sphere which it is being administered, that you will not find experience and wisdom. And we believe that as the minority side is neglecting the experience and the wisdom of the aged, it is also important that we embrace it and add it to the enthusiasm and the nepotism of the younger ones to be able to have a balanced administration in this very parliament house. So it's also important to not neglect experience and wisdom with which the aged comes with. So in Ghana, we've seen leaders like Jerry John Rawlings and John Ajakum Kufuor, who made significant contributions to our nation's development well into their matured years. These people brought a lot of policies into the nation, and it has really yielded massive and important results. So imposing an age gap will unfairly dismiss the worth and experience and the wisdom that these individuals bring on board. That is why we strongly advocate that introducing this legal age gap should not be entertained. Two, if we introduce this, it limits the voter choice. And if you are going to limit people from voting or exercising their franchise, it will go against the democratic principles of the laws of this country, of which you and I do not want to find ourselves in that very sect. When we restrict candidates based on age, we'll be limiting the choices available to our citizens. And it can bear me out that in Africa, we've seen older leaders like Nelson Mandela, who played crucial roles in shaping their country's futures. Nelson Mandela's exploits cannot be overemphasized, even in his old age. So you see, introduce this legal age gap does not just eradicate the exploits or the potentials or the experience and wisdom that these individuals bring on board, but rather it goes deeper to cut the right influences or the right resources, the right energy that these people bring on board. That is why we believe that it's also important that we do not introduce this legal age gap, but rather give opportunity to each and every one of us all to exercise their franchise, to be voted for, and then also to vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you very much. Deputy Minority Leader, for your submission. Rebuttal from the Majority Caucus. Any rebuttals from the Majority Caucus?
Yes, please, Right Honourable Speaker.
All right. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. I would say that the Deputy Minority Leader has made his point, but I'm sure he is trying to mislead this House. What are we saying? If we are saying that Ghana should have a legal age cap, we are saying that he should ask, okay, at what age do we want to limit the capping to? Within which age range are we talking about? Than him saying that we the majority side misunderstood the topic. No. What we are saying is that there has to be an age cap, which means that if government can implement a capping the same way it is on civil servants. For instance, when you are 60, you have to retire. But in leadership, even we have leaders in Africa who are 81, getting close to 90, and they are still leading us in Africa. Right, Honourable Speaker, my colleague in his presentation haven't given any substantial rebuttal to the earlier statement I made, because I said that when this age capping is done, it is going to give the opportunity to a lot of the youths, which, Mr. Speaker, if not for your position, unless we vote, will agree to us that no, Ghana needs to bring a system that controls the age of leaders in Ghana, which means that if we agree that at age 60 and above, we can't entertain anybody to aspire for parliamentary or presidential candidate. Right, Honourable Speaker, just beside us is Cote d'Ivoire. The president in Cote d'Ivoire is in his 80s. I think 81, 82, if I'm not mistaken. But I stand to be corrected. And Right Honourable Speaker, what is the progress of Cote d'Ivoire? Let's look at Nigeria. The president of Nigeria, a very old man, somebody who even at global stages, when he's even making inputs, or if he's being asked questions about the nation, such a person cannot give any substantial response to the youth. Right, Honourable Speaker, it is very clear that my colleagues at the other side are not ready to lead the future we are fighting for. If they are not ready to lead the future, there are other people that are ready. So they should just cover their faces with their hands and agree that no, Ghana needs to have a particular age cap. And let us enter the next discussion on at what age are we considering, than to say that there's going to be a limited voter choice. No, Right, Honourable Speaker, this substantive topic or caption that matter that my colleague spoke about, I don't see any essence in the point he made that when we introduce a legal cap, it's going to limit voter choice. No, Right, Honourable Speaker, I don't see it from the perspective in which he is seeing it. Right, Honourable Speaker, I will say that all of us in this house this evening knows very well that no, the future of youths has to be created by youth. We need people in leadership and in government who will create a future and live for it. Right, Honourable Speaker, it is very clear. A lot of policies that these people are making as it stands now, they are going to benefit us in the future. And you will see the level of neglect of youth consultation in these policies that they are making. And right, Honourable Speaker, let me make it clear to the deputy minority leader and his caucus members that the life expectancy age of Ghana is between 60 and 65 to 68. That is by statistics. So why can't we create a system, the exact strength with good health to lead us? Mr. Speaker, I will say thank you once again for the opportunity, and let my colleagues something we need to have. What prevents this, the very people he's referring to, that they may be they may not have the opportunity, or what prevents them to be voted for when they are in between, let's say 60 and 40? Nothing prevents the same people. So we can't say that we are limiting the voter choice. Should we wait for somebody when he retires from his civil work and then he uses politics as the next option? Honourable Speaker, let us start reasoning and let us take pragmatic steps that will secure our future. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any rebuttal from the minority caucus?
Very much the right honourable speaker.
Hello, can any of you hear me? I can't hear the honorable member who is talking, who is speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes, I think my end
Yes, we
speaker,
can
you are
hear you.
audible, but the honorable minority leader, I finding it difficult to hear you.
Yeah, then it's from his end. I'm not also hearing anything from him.
I think he's back. Honorable Isaac Etono.
All right. Since my minority leader network is breaking, I will just jump in and then. All right. A minute. So, the right honorable speaker, upon hearing the submissions of the deputy majority leader one more time, I believe he is still not giving us the right channel on which this motion should be adhered to. Why? Because he keeps saying that we give opportunities to younger ones because they have the strength, they have the sharp brain, giving references to a whole lot of people. Meanwhile, he has forgotten that no effective and productive administration is geared out of only younger ones without the wisdom and the experience of the older generation. That is why it is actually understood that if we, it's actually stated clearly in the Akan adage that if you forget the history of your own clan or your tribe, there is no way you will go far. So it stands to reason that if we should forget or neglect the experiences and then the wisdom of the aged, there is no way in a country. So important that we keep to the notion that even as we introduce this legal age gap, we will not neglect the experiences and then the wisdom that the aged or the older ones comes with. Because if we do that, these are the potential consequences. It is going to lead to a loss of continuity and also stability in government. Why? Because experienced leaders will be forced out, thereby making way for potentially inexperienced leaders. And if inexperienced leaders are leading the country, leading any administration, there is no future. So if we are going to give opportunity to the younger ones who needs to learn from the experiences of the older generation, then we are going nowhere. That is why it is so important that even as we give the opportunities to these people, the younger ones, we should also equally give the same opportunity to the older generation so that both, when there is a balance and a blend of the younger and then the aged, we have a better and a brighter administration. This is all that we are calling for. This is all what the minority caucus is championing. So even as you are going to introduce the legal age gap, it shouldn't sideline nor discriminate nor alleviate the older generation. That is our debate here. Our maybe my line is breaking. That is what we are proposing for. That we should give each and everybody the opportunity for them to be able to exercise and then to have a better administration. Thank you, Honorable Majority, Honorable Speaker of Parliament.
All right, thank you very much.
Right Honorable Speaker, if I make a quick indication before we proceed. Mr. Speaker.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Great. I just want to quickly put an indication before we proceed. I am Isaac Etonameje, minority leader for this parliament. But Mr. Speaker, I just want to plead that you kindly consider those who are raising hands. I can see a number of people raising hands, but it appears you are not. So if you can kindly be checking that so you can call them accordingly. It's just a plea, though. Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker.
So far, I saw only one hand. That was the deputy my joint leader, and he has spoken. So I'm not seeing currently. I'm not seeing any hands here.
Okay,
Are you
that's fine.
currently
Thank you
seeing
for.
some hands?
Thank you. I saw one. It's
All
like the
right.
person lowered
Thank
it
you.
now. Nice. Okay. All right.
Okay. I guess so. Okay. Honorable wisdom. You have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. My hands has been raised since, but it's like you didn't catch my attention. Let-
Sorry.
yes.
Sorry.
So a rebuttal regards to what Deputy Minority Leader said. This is Wisdom Adams, Majority Chief Whip. So I have some questions to ask Deputy Minority Leader. So Ghana has a retirement age of 60 years. So why would someone who is on his retirement be made president? Someone that we said he's old, that he can man up a certain position, is now be made president. Why do we have minimum age for parliamentarians at age 21, but for president 40? There are some things we have to take a critical look at it. So unless you are 40 and above before you can be a president, no, that should not be. If I can be a minister of, if, if I can be a member of parliament, I should qualify to be a minister. No, so I should qualify to be a president. Let's put that thing aside. Someone who is on retirement 60 years be voted onto power to take care of the whole country. But this same constitution is telling me that, say, manager of so and so, after age 60, you don't have the strength, so you have to go home. That's retirement. Are we building a country? I don't think so. I don't think this is a country building. So I'm proposing the age cap to be, say, 65 years. If you attain more than 65 years, you don't qualify to be president. Because if someone at age 60 years and above don't qualify to hold a position, don't qualify to work in Ghana, then I think same to applies to the president. Someone who is going to take care of the whole country. And I don't think if someone is 50 years or so, that person do not have experience. No. If I'm working at institution A, I started very earlier, from my 20s or 30s. Before I could hit 50, I've gained a lot of experience. How many years do someone needs to get experience? Someone can be in a certain jurisdiction for 20 years, 30 years without gaining experience. It takes the brain. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable wisdom. All right, Honorable Etonam, Minority Leader. Honorable Etonam,
You have the floor.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, the wisest chip. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you so much once again, the Right Honorable Speaker in the House. I don't know if my very able majority leader has casted any spells on my network. I've been trying to, it's been very unstable for the past 30 minutes. I'm just begging he should let my network be, but that's just by the by. But Mr. Speaker, look, this thing we are discussing here is a very serious issue. And I think that we have to consider it with all the seriousness that it comes with. And I am a bit disappointed listening to some of the speakers from the other side come here to make it look as though we at the minority side are trying to say that the youth are not qualified enough to contest elections, both presidential and parliamentary. That is not what we are seeing. And I thought that the majority caucus would have done their basic, duty before coming into this meeting. I listened to the deputy majority leader speak and made reference to Cote d'Ivoire and asked the question of what progress they are making because they have an elderly person as leader. Look, that is not the context within which we are speaking. And even if that is it, and you mentioned Cote d'Ivoire, what happens to Italy? Did you consider that? What about Ireland? Did you consider that? You see, so we are saying that when you want to introduce an age cap, what that means is that you are going to set a certain ceiling at which you are no longer qualified to contest elections. And the honorable member who just spoke from the minority side mentioned that why do we have to set the minimum age for contesting parliamentary elections at 21 and for presidency at 40? That again is out of context. That is not what we are discussing. Just because we say that if you are not 21, you cannot contest parliamentary, and if you are not 40, you can't contest presidency, doesn't mean there is any limitation that you don't qualify. Those are just minimum or basic requirements. Limitation is to say, just like he also mentioned that, okay, let's consider 65 as the limit. So you go on retirement. That is what we are saying. And so I am disappointed because the majority came into this discussion, and up until now that this person spoke, for just about 50 minutes into this discussion, they couldn't even make any proposal to us that, okay, let's make it this age so we can have a serious discussion based on that. No, all of them who spoke even just before this person introduced 65 were just talking outside of what we expected them to say. But just to let them be and to mention the reason why the minority is in disagreement with this particular issue of introducing legal age cap is that first of all, when you look at the 1992 constitution that we have, it gives you basic rights and fundamental whatever freedoms and so on. And you have the right to vote, and not just to vote, but also to be voted for. And so why do we now want to consider the situation where we are going to say, okay, 65, because he mentioned 65, let me just speak within that context, that if you are 65 years old, you are not qualified to contest elections. What happens if the day for elections, or the period within which you are going to contest elections, you are 64? So you contest elections, you are 64, you are supposed to hold office for like, say, 4 years. That makes it 68. Have you considered what should be done to avoid this kind of thing? Because per what he said, once you are 65, you are not qualified to be president. Yet the person is 64, contested, and has won, and has to be in office for 4 years. What about that? So for us on this side, we are saying that is clearly unworkable. It is undemocratic in the first place, and two, it is unworkable. Now, point two is that when you bring these people in, look at what is happening in our sectors. Look at the educational sectors, health sectors, whatsoever. People just extending contracts here and there, changing their ages, reducing it. You can see the person's hair is all white and the beard is all gray and everything, and is unable to, and the person is telling you that I am 27. Look at that. Look at the corruption that is going on just because you have to go on retirement. Now, this is what we want to do. We have not really put systems in place to check some of these things, yet we want to introduce age cap. What happens? Are we able to verify, okay, that okay, you have really met the age limit, so you cannot contest? Are we able to verify that? No. We should, if we want to introduce something like that, we should first of all look at the fundamentals. It is because of these things that we are saying that no, this thing is unworkable. Let's not even go there, because the corruption alone that will start. You will see them come with their walking sticks and tell you, I'm 19 years old, I am 40 years old. And you know, how do you verify that? Do we have the systems? And nobody should even dare to say we have the systems. What is happening? I just made examples. Even during the actual administration, many people were just cutting down their ages and pretending and so on, and a lot of things that could not really speak well about us. So for us, we do not, and let's be clear on this, we do not expect these things to happen again. And this will be the last point I mentioned before I pause. Mr. Speaker, look, when my able minority deputy was talking about experience, I listened to some members from the other side come to say that you can get experience by 1 year. Look, experience that someone has achieved over a period of time. For instance, an experience of 20 years old cannot be compared to an experience of 4-year-old. So you might have some experience that is without debate, that is with no argument, you know. But are you saying that you, for instance, let's take the nursing or the medical field, for instance, are you saying a doctor that has been practicing for 20 years is having the same experience with someone who is practicing for just 5 years? No, I can't say that. And so all we are saying is that introducing this legal age cap is going to some experienced and expertise from our political field. And so we have to just let it open. And just for the fact that we don't have legal age cap doesn't mean that youth cannot contest elections. There is nothing like that. It's nowhere in our constitution. Once you are 40, per what we have, once you are 40, you can go ahead and contest the elections. So why are you waiting for there to be a legal age cap or something before you come out to contest? That alone tells you that youth are not really, you know. So even if we put a cap there, Krana, there is going to be no changes. All right. So if you are waiting for a cap to contest, then you are even doing the wrong thing. You don't even qualify. If you know and believe in yourself that you have something great to offer, that you think that the elderly persons cannot offer, then put yourself across and then contest. I can give you a very significant example of my what do you call him? This Jata, Sam George, and then the one he contested against within 2015. If I'm right. Look at that. He believed in himself. He put himself across. He doesn't have to wait for some because at the time the man he was contesting against was 70. So he didn't have to wait to say, okay, you have to let's push for an age cap so that once you reach 80 years, then you can contest. He didn't wait for that. So let's just be clear in these things and know exactly what we are proposing. So as it stands now, we are still on our necessary. It's not relevant. It won't promote any democratic values. It won't promote any development. It has no bearing on the fortunes of the nation. And that is that. Thank you very much, the Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Minority Leader. Honorable Jackson is up. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is Honorable Joseph, question from Ahanta West constituency. Honorable Speaker, I am, let me say, disappointed in Minority Leader. For him to be a Minority Leader, disappointed in him. Listening to his submission that he just made right now has made me lose interest in everything. I was believing him to be a minority leader. I was believing him to be a great leader. But for now, he has really disappointed me. Honorable Speaker, Honorable minority leader made mention of certain things I want to banter with. Number one, he was looking at we should not wait till an age cap before our people were, the majority side, the majority caucuses were looking at why should they be arranged, why don't we put on systems. He was looking at corruption whilst people are putting that has for anybody who enter into an organization, his particulars are being taken. You see, it is because we don't have correct systems. That is why these things are happening. But if there is an age cap which allows which gives youth an age cap which doesn't only just prevent the youth but also give room to the youth, all these things will not be happening. Honorable Speaker, he was saying that people are reducing their ages and they are now gray hair. It is because of the corruption. Now let's talk about this one as well. We can also say that our leaders or those who are now beyond 70s and 80s are holding political positions are well corrupt. That is all. They are corrupt. You scout that is being given for presidency. When there is an age cap that is being given. Now, one member from the majority leader said something that the minority leader didn't listen to it well, so he framed it wrongly for him. He was saying that Honorable Wisdom was saying that why should there be an age limit that after 60 you don't fit enough to work in an organization? We have been asked to come home and rest, but that same person who has been now been called home to rest will use that age 60 as a yardstick to enter into politics. Now he has forgotten the fact that the Ghana as a nation, the population statistics indicate the fact that Ghana is a youthful country. So why is it that if we are a youthful country, we allow the aged people to be ruling us? Recently, there was one MP that has been voted out. That recently he was at Kumasi, advocating for Honourable and the young Nkolana Mabano Munimhe Mujamaboji Yaku Nisa. Now he's living on the this is not, we set an age limit for somebody not to work in an organization, then that age limit has to also how do we call it, capture you, in give room for the youth. That is what the majority we are saying. The only thing the majority we are saying is that he's saying that we haven't made any concrete stand. Our concrete stand that we are making here now is that there should be an age cap that at the age of 60 you don't enter into politics. That is all. Now, if minority leader want me to give him statistics regarding to the nation, the presidents that have come, that have been on seats in this nation, and their age when they enter into politics, and the kind of development they did, and where the results that return to the nation, I'll give it to him. Let me just begin with the fourth. Rollins was entered into years old on 22nd June. He was born on 22nd June 1947, and his first term of office was in 1993 to 2001. So he was into an office at the age of 47. Look at the development that came. Look at the democracy that went on. Look at the changes that came, the changes that came, the development that came into Ghana. We are in Ghana. I'm not interested in other countries. Let's pick our nation. This is where we belong. And this is what we want to build. The nation that we want to build. The future nation that we want to build. His Excellency John Ejekun Kufuor also entered into politics, was also integrated at the age of 62. You see, when His Excellency John Ejekun Kufuor entered was integrated at the age of 22, he called Ghana, he named Ghana as a recap where we don't, how do you call it? Is it equitable or whatever? That means that Ghana is the most poorest nation among all. You see, that is the mindset of our aged people. Now, is John Atamos also entered at the age of 64. And look at the development that the man was bringing up. But glory, he was called to glory very soon. Then John Dramani Mahama entered, was first integrated at 55 years. You see, because he first entered at the age of 55 years. Now, though, let's truth be truth, this didn't go on as expected. The reason was that the man wasn't prepared enough to enter into presidency. He was just a running mate, just how Dr. Bamia said. And now that he's fully, we can now see the results of what he did or what he planned to do. Now, the just gone administration of the MPP, Nana Dankwa, the way Ghana let's speak fast and then let's the if there is an age cap in how do you call it, civic organizations, then in politics there should be an age cap. There should be my brother. I will stand on my feet to say 60. If there is a 60 for a civic engineer or whosoever, a military personnel, a police, a teacher, to be, how do you call it, to retire at the age of 60, then at the age of 60, our presidency must, at the age of 60, we should not give room to them. This is not about political bias, or it is not about democracy bias. We are saying the fact that if we are setting the goal, let's set it and set it well. If we are building the nation, let's build it and build it well. They are right. Because at the age of 60, some will be how to match points. You are strong into the person should come home. But you are not telling us that that same person that should come home is now fit for politics, and the in our political organizations and sectors where there is much corruption is politics. Why? Because we don't have any age limits. We don't have any age cap. Now everybody, I've gotten my small money. The work that I went to go and do, I've gotten small money. I am at the age of 50. Now let me just put my money into politics. Then I can now get more. This is making the nation progress. So please, this is what the majority are saying, that if we are doing it, then we should do it better. Let's set the age cap for our political system. Let's set it up. Let there be an age cap. Let there be a limitation where the person can no longer hold any position. There is blame in the youth. The youth are carrying majority, the how do you call it, wisdom. He is saying that experience. Yes, nobody is downplaying with experience. That is why we are saying that. Say, why am paying far? One thing if you what's it nananum what's nafi na wahwe nkukra where nkukra number one nkukra wakra do. Let's go details. Nkukra kra do da. One bet nafi. Na one for one yan say no time we go make no that is what we are advocating. That is what we are saying. The aged people should now come home and now be given their wisdom. That is what our elders were doing. When they grow old, they sit back. The young people, we go to them, we go for wisdom, and we live our life. Why don't we apply the same thing in our political line? Honorable Speaker, that is the only thing that the majority leader are advocating for. If in our normal traditional account system, our aged people will sit back, will sit at home, then they will now be giving, they will be relaxing at home. The youth will be going to them. If you want to go for marriage, you go to them, you go and acquire a little wisdom, you live with your life. If you want to do this, you go to them, you go for wisdom, then you move on. It's the same thing. We should also introduce this in our politics or in our democratic setting, so that at least our aged people will sit back and now with their wisdom, when it is being put that when these systems are being put in place, you will see how the nation will develop. The reason is that the young people won't, we are not despising them, we will not despise them. That is what we are saying. We are not going to despise them. The only thing that we are saying is that they should now come and sit home, relax. We will come to their feet, come and learn wisdom from them, and they will run the nation to a success. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Welbeck, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. My name is Honorable Welbeck Odui, Youth MP for Konkatamanso. And before I go on the topic for the debate, I think today, as we all know, Konkatamanso held a demonstration, which is the Enough is Enough demonstration. And I'm calling on the House to help push this on social media, this agenda on social media. We are really lacking behind. We need water. We need good roads. So I'm pleading on our honorable members in the House to help push this Enough is Enough agenda for Konkatamanso on social media for us. Thank you very much. Coming on the topic, when Honorable Joseph was speaking, he made mention of our older ones are more corrupt than the younger ones, if I heard him right. But I disagree with him on that side. Because if you look at our university, our schools, our SRC president and these SRC executives, if I compare the kind of corrupt nature, their kind of corrupt nature and that of our leaders, I think this current youth will grow to become more corrupt than the older ones up there. And with this age cap on our parliamentary and presidential elections, I have some 3 points to make. And I'm against the age cap. I'm strongly against the age cap. One, age does not equal competence. Age does not equal competence. So leadership is more about vision, wisdom, integrity than this age then. So let's say someone is 80 years and you think someone who is 70 years is more competent than that of the person who is 80 years, or someone who is the one who is 80 is more competent than the one who is 70. No. Secondly, if we do this, we are going to discriminate. We are going to discriminate among the aged ones. These aged ones also go to the polls to vote, and we are telling them not to. We are telling they can't contest for any position. Then I think we are not being fair to them. We are not being fair to them. So we capping them, capping the age. I'm strongly against it because we can't discriminate in this country. We have chiefs or our traditional leaders. Immediately you are installed as a chief, you'll be on the throne till you die. So are we trying to say if this person cross the age limit, this person ceases to be wise? No, they rule perfectly. They have advisors, yes, they rule perfectly. So with this age captain, I'm strongly against it. And as majority leader said, we need experienced people before these young ones will come. So in Parliament House, before they get to the Parliament House, we need the young and the older ones to groom them, the experienced ones to groom them. So the more they stay in the house, the more experience they get. So we shouldn't say because they are old, so their brains are now becoming let's say damp. Excuse me, say they are becoming damp because they are getting older. No, we need to tap in their experience, tap from their experience. So we need to keep them there so the younger ones will join them and for the younger ones to learn from them. So there's no need seizing them and stopping them from contesting. Let's say uh, our honorable speaker, he's he's very old and he's experienced. We wouldn't say because he's old, he should leave the house for the younger ones to come and take over. He is there and he's using his experience to teach the younger ones, and he's grooming them to be better than him. So am strongly against the age cap. And if we say we should stop, give
Honorable
an
Welbeck,
age cap.
you
Yeah.
have a minute more.
Okay.
Summarize.
If we say we should give an age cap, then I think the best place to go is the voters. The voters are the ultimate people to decide whether there should be an age cap or not. They are the best people to decide. We can't sit in the house to take such decision. They are the best people to decide. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I, Warbeck Odwe, MP for Pon Katamaso, is strongly against the age cap we want to introduce. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
All right,
And
thank
once
you very
again, I want the House to support our Enough is Enough demonstration.
all
Thank
right,
you.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, before I move on to Honorable Evans and that of Honorable Daniel, I want us to hear from the Deputy Majority Leader. Deputy Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity once again. My name is Agua Gideon Julius, MP for the good people of the Anglo constituency. Right Honorable Speaker, my colleague spoke, and before I make my rebuttals to the point he made, we humbly sympathize with the people of Kantamanso and Bon. It is an issue that has to be addressed now and now. And I would say that I am behind him and I am behind the good people of Cantamanso to insist that they also deserve the good waters to drink. They need the best of roads that are in Accra and that are in Kumasi and other parts of the country. And right, Honorable Speaker, just today in my region, His Excellency the President is here cutting short on some productive roads in the big push agenda. And I say kudos to him and his team for the good work they are doing. Right, Honorable Speaker, my even before I proceed, you see, the minority leader, Honorable Isaac, whom I cherish a lot, whom I look up to as a Democrat, as a vibrant youth, as a potential asset to this country, just disillusioned me. Mr. Speaker, I don't know what to say, but right, Honorable Speaker, I just got disappointed in the points made by the leader of the other side of the house, even before I move on to the argument made by his caucus members. Right, Honorable Speaker, let's look at the history of Ghana. If they are saying, they are still insisting that experience, what happens to the Council of Elders? Don't we have Council of Elders that advise president? Don't we have cabinet members in these countries that have to advise president on decisions taken? Let us not center our argument on experience. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is very clear, and the whole house can attest to the fact that a food cooked yesterday, if not preserved, cannot be eaten today. If they are talking about experience, are we living in the experience of yesterday? No. We're not living in the experience of yesterday. The ones who invented the cars that we are seeing today, they didn't start with the Lamborghini, the current brands of Lamborghini. How aeroplane was 20 years ago, that is not how we are meeting it today. Right, Honorable Speaker, what am I trying to say? All what I'm trying to say is that an experience of yesterday can be a history, but may not be the necessary instrument that we need for development. So let us not center the whole house should not center the argument to they have the experience. Just in this country, the very people that are against this motion, don't they see what Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa is doing? A lot of them admire him a lot. Just our very young guy, Honorable Eric Agbana, a lot of them admire him. Right, Honorable Speaker? What am I trying to say? The fact is that the best of nation has to be shaped with strong innovation and strong leadership qualities. That is what we are looking for, not an aged person. Because they have the experience. No, all what my colleagues are saying is experience, experience,
Honorable
experience, experience.
Deputy Majority Leader, Honorable, kindly summarize so that you can conclude for us.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you so much. Conclude by saying that and innovation can only be driven by the younger minds, but by few of the older minds. So, Right Honorable Speaker, the minority is very aware. I will say it again. If they are not ready to lead the future that we are fighting for, then let us be aware. They should inform us that they're not ready. They are not ready to join this fight to liberate our future. Right Honorable Speaker, on this note, I will say thank you for the opportunity.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Honorable Welbeck, lower your hand. Now, Honorable Evans, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So, in contributing to the motion, we are tackling this tonight. I just wanted to say that many of my colleagues have spoken about, the pension age limit that we have as a country, and then we've gone to also talk about, the minimum age that the Constitution has put in place in contexting most of our elections, right? But I believe as a House and also as members of Parliament who are championing the Security Council's resolution of, engaging more youth into decision making, I believe the reason why, or I believe as a majority member, I believe the reason why we are advocating for a maximum age gap in our constitution is to enhance or is to support this agenda of the United Nations Security Council's resolution, right? So that we'll be able to at least help push more youth into the system and also get more innovative ideas and creative ideas into, decision making in our country. I believe we have experienced a lot of years as a country where most of our leaders who have, occupied the reins of leadership in our country have all, are matured people enough who have attained 50 years and 60 years. We are yet as a country to, experience the youthful nature of leadership in our country. And I believe this is a time as youth MPs, this is a time we can be able to also help, amend or introduce this maximum age gap in our constitution, right? Because if Article 119 of the Constitution already has a pension age, right, and then yet we have seen also in other articles where we have a minimum age for presidency and then the parliamentarians, but these articles fails to give a maximum gap for people who can enter there or people who can be excluded from, contesting presidential election. I feel it is time as members of parliament or youth MPs, it's time we also advocate for this, changes to be made into the constitution so that at least if formal education or if civil servants have a formal age they are to retire, at least leadership of our legislative nature and also the executive arm of government should also have a formal age of retiring instead of leaving it very open for anybody at all to come in. And for example, to cite an example, let's just look at our neighboring country, Burkina Faso. They just got, even though it's a school that came in, it wasn't a very democratic, but yes, we have seen a very visible and a very vibrant effect of such a leadership of their leadership now. It's a youth, but we are seeing very pragmatic solutions, very dedicated innovations coming up, and that is what we are looking for. That is what every youth in Africa, every youth who is coming up is looking for in our economy and in our continent and also in our country. And I believe that this is a time that we can be able to argue in that point, that if formal work or formal corporate work has a retirement age where it is mandatory for you to go on retirement, I believe, the arm of government and then the executives and the legislatures to also have, a formal age of going out of retirement. And instead of making it open for them to be there, and then they'll just try, and then we are just losing out on people who can be able to come in and then push things and get things done. So I believe the argument is not about, wisdom. The argument is not about they have more wisdom, they have more insight, or they've been in the system for long. No, the argument is about, results. It's about pragmatic results that we are looking at. And to end up my submission, I would like to say that if you list, I just searched, if you list for the list of age of most of the European leaders that we have now, most of them are around 53, 40, 60. Maximum is 65, 70. But if you compare the list of leaders for Asia and then Africa, you see that most of our leaders are very old, 80, 70. The minimum age you can see of our leaders are 63. This shows that even the developed countries who have a lot of ideas and a lot of who are developed already and have system in place already, they are now giving opportunities to the youth to come in. And I believe this is not because of they are old people who are giving, but it's a conscious effort of them trying to make room for more youth into their system. And if you don't take care and we still rely on giving old people the chance to lead, we realize that the foreign or the developed countries like the European countries, they will move far ahead of us, because it's a shift that we are seeing in the around the economy or around the continent, where the Europeans have taken the lead, giving the youth opportunity to come and serve. And I believe if we should be able to take this hints from them and then try and then pushing more youth into the system to lead in various positions, to bring on various ideas and various energetic solutions, I believe we can be able to change things in the economy and in our country as a whole. So I believe that is the argument that the majority caucus is arguing for, that it's time we need a shift, we need a change. And if there's any good time and any opportune time to do that, this is the time that we can do it. We can't wait for another time, we can't wait for another years, we can't wait for another century to do it. This is the time that we can be able
All
to
right, thank
push
you
in and
very
then
much,
get it done.
Honorable
Thank you
Evans.
very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Evans, for your submission. Now, Honorable Daniel, you have the floor. Honorable Daniel, remember you have 3 minutes. You guys are making lengthy statements, so just summarize, move on straight to the point. You have 3 minutes to
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Daniel Kosuya Kapo, Youth MP for Ketu South and Minority Chief Whip. Mr. Speaker, I don't intend to even talk long, but to start with, I would like to answer a question that Majority Leader asked earlier. He asked
a,
why.
a second. Honorable Evans, kindly lower your hand. All right, thank you very much. Now,
Okay,
Honorable Daniel, you can continue.
thank you, Mr. Speaker. On a lighter note, that one has chopped into my time, so I would like to get it back. Thank you. And to the Majority Leader, he asked, why are civil servants retiring at 60, and then we want to allow politicians to continue with whatever age they have? And then he cited the situation that some people retire and then now they are entering into politics. I want to put it to Honorable Majority Leader that we cannot compare football to handball, because civil servants and politics are two different games. He cited that civil servants retire at 60, but does he know that the judiciaries retire at 70 and 75? These are two different games. These are two different leaders. So it doesn't mean you have to compare, because let me put football and handball example again. In football, you can take a ball and hit it on the floor. Nobody will mind you. But in handball, even if you leave the ball in the air in the force, you get card. These are two different games with two different rules. So, Majority Leader, I would like to let you know that you are making a mistake by comparing the civil servant's age cap to politics. And to Honorable Joseph question, You said our politicians always retire and come back, and you cited example of our His Excellency Kufuor and then Atta Mills. Please, the fact that you see someone in a limelight at a particular point doesn't mean that is when the person started. The person has started long ago. There is something called grassroots politics. There's something called hidden politics. Those people don't show face until a certain point. For example, our current vice president was into politics long ago, but because he was in the sector of education, nobody knew. These are some of the things. And then coming to the age cap issue, I don't believe there should be an age cap for presidential and parliamentary elections. Why do I say so? Let me take you to the educational sector. This is the reason why a lot of people retire and the university refuse to let them go. Lecturers retire and the university refuse to let them go. But because there is a rule that they must go, the university find a way to give them contracts and let them be there and be teaching and putting in the experience they have. Because lecturing is a game or it is an experience you have to pile up. So from the youngest ones cannot just get that experience match the researchers have to fill into that gap. So they keep them. So here I'm bringing it back again with the idea of the experience that those in the system have more experience. Nobody is preventing the youth from entering into politics, or nobody is preventing the youth from contesting. The only thing we are saying is that the elderly should not be prevented just because they attain a particular age. It's not a crime to have a particular age. Someone, Honorable Welbeck said it well. He said age does not equate competence. Yes, of course, the fact that the person is young doesn't mean it's competence. I've seen younger incompetent people before, and I've seen much competent elderlies. So the fact that the person is elderly doesn't mean he has to go and sit at home before he can pour experience into the system for our own development. Yeah, Honorable Question cited another example of an elderly politicians. I want to put it to him once again that son excellence for Esozimna Enyasingbe, the president of Togo, is a youth as well. But what is happening in Togo? Practically nothing. So let us not say that just because somebody is young means the person is competent.
Honorable Daniel, you've almost exhausted your time, so
So,
kindly conclude.
so, Mr. Speaker, all I want to say is putting an age cap on this presidential and parliamentary election or candidacy is a trouble against fundamental human rights. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Daniel. Now, Honorable Simon, you have the floor. Honorable Simon, you have the floor. Honorable Simon, are you with us?
This much. Yes.
Yes, you have the.
Please, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished colleagues, I think we have deliberated on this motion before the House this evening very well, but we cannot also do that without the constitutionality of this issue. As a legislative arm of government, we should also consider the constitutionality of it. As a network, we normally use a constitution, and our constitution, chapter 1, that is chapter 1, article 1, states it emphatically that the constitution is subjective to the 1992 constitution of this nation, which is the supremacy of of this land, that is Ghana. And the same constitution also makes it clear to us that there is a minimum age for applying or for filing for any position, especially for presidential and then parliamentary position in this country. But it do not also give the maximum age. What does it imply? It implies that we can have a minimum but not a maximum age for positions. So putting an age cap would then undermine our democracy and therefore also the constitution of this land. So I don't see why we should discuss this motion in terms of age, but rather it should be on the discussion on the topic of health, to determine the health of individual who is applying for a position such as MP with regards to our network. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Simon, for such a brief and then powerful submission. Now, Honorable Asabia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
By,
Distinguished
by then,
colleagues.
Honorable Simon, lower your hand. Honorable Simon, lower your hand.
Okay.
All right, Honorable Asabia, continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished colleagues, thank you for the opportunity to speak on the motion. I am Asabia Irene, speaking at the MP, Youth MP for FCC. I just want to make a short rebuttal on the experience one of our colleagues from the other side actually made. He spoke about the fact that are we living our lives based on experience? I mean, back to the heart. I said we are living our lives based on the lessons of the experience we've had, or the lessons of the experience of yesterday. So yes, the experiences of yesterday is part and part of the key instruments needed for forging ahead. So with this, I just want to say I will urge this house to reject the motion and uphold the motion of putting a legal age cap for presidential and parliamentary candidates in Ghana. And I would want to ask that we rather uphold values of fairness, inclusive, and democratic integrity. We know Ghana is a democratic nation, so we shouldn't start anything that will undermine our democracy or bring it to question. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Honorable Wisdom, you have 2 minutes because you already made this submission. You have 2 minutes. Honorable Wisdom, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Speaker. But I think this is very unfair. 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Here, 2 minutes. Very well. So I have series of questions for the minority side. So rebuttal to Honorable Welbeck. He said we are not being fair if we say presidential, the president should be, there should be an age limit for the presidential limit. But are we fair to the civil servant? Are we fair to the civil servant who are to retire at age 60? We must be very serious in this country for once. Non-politicians above age 60 should not vote. No. Ghana's best president ever is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and he resumed the office at age 51. Look at the things he did. We are still learning about and we are still remembering him at age 50, at age 51. Look, a lot of experience. Here in Africa, Ghana specifically, we have presidents above 17 and stuff. We talk about experience, yet we do not know the kind of thing they come to do during their tenure of office. Constitution is subject to review. Yes. The same constitution who said president there should be a minimum age for presidential, that is 40, but there's no maximum age. Yet civil servant should be at age 60. Come to think of it, someone who is managing a small group of people should by force retire at age 60. But someone who is taking control over the whole country, 30 million plus people, should be given opportunity to contest for election even while the person is on retirement. If you want the country to move, we should be serious at once. We are in a technological world, AI to be specific. Take a look at the older generations. If you ask them things about technology, they do not even know left and they are left to their right. Yet we want to make them our president. My question for the minority side. So is it fair for a civil servant who is managing a small amount of people, to go on retirement at age 60, but someone who is managing the whole economy, millions of people, to be given age limit more than 60 to manage? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Wisdom. All right, now, Honorable Deputy Majority Leader, you have 2 minutes. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I sincerely applaud the only lady who had the courage to speak on our platform tonight. I I say kudos to her. Right Honorable Speaker, the motion before this house is has never been ambiguous. Right Honorable Speaker, the motion doesn't seem to destroy our democracy, but just as we are seeking that an age cap should be established for our parliamentary and presidential candidates, it is a deliberate effort to strengthen the borders of our democracy. It is an effort to take our democracy out of jeopardy and to, for once, paint that picture of seriousness of our democracy. That's why, Mr. Speaker, you see, one of the speakers mentioned that when we introduce an age cap to the presidential and parliamentary candidates, we are going to restrict them from their human rights. Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to ask that very honorable individual that just as the Constitution mentioned that at age 40 before you can become the president, isn't the Constitution unfair to those who are below age 39 to 0? Isn't for presidential candidate, isn't the Constitution unfair to individuals from 20 downwards to 0? Right, Honorable Speaker, there is a minimum and there has to be a maximum. Right, Honorable Speaker, this motion
Honorable Deputy Majority Leader, you've exhausted your time, so summarize.
that we are debating on this floor is of Right, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable, your time
Please,
is
is my
up,
time
so
up?
conclude.
Thank you, Right, Honorable Speaker. I was even concluding before you came in, but thank you so much for guiding me. So, this motion before this house or on the floor of this house tonight is just to create that enabling environment for absolute development, innovation, and the best use of our democratic system. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Majority Leader, for your submission. Honorable Daniel, you are back again. Okay, you have 2 minutes to
Thank you,
give your
Mr.
submission.
Speaker. With that time, let me just keep the introduction and go straight to the point, Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence. I would like to answer Honorable Wisdom Adams. He asked, is that fair for civil servants to retire at 60 and then allow the presidents to go on and go on to? The simple answer is yes, it is fair. Why is it fair? The civil servant starts or legally starts work exactly at 18 years, so long as he is an adult and ready to work at the age of 80. 18 to 60, calculate it. By presidency, you are allowed only at age 40. So from 40, that is when you start. So looking at the gap between 40 to the presidential candidacy and the civil servant, as I always say, you cannot compare football to handball. They are two different ball games with two different rules, set of rules and moves. So please, let's just stop comparing things and reason this that we cannot put age cap to the presidential and parliamentary candidacy in Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you very much. So it's clear that there's no more any submission, but I'm not seeing hands here. So I would like to take the final or concluding statement from the minority leader. Minority leader, if you are here with us, your concluding statement.
Thank you very much, the wisest chair. I think it's been amazing, and I love all of the contributions. I was just thinking you would want to allow the majority leader speak or give his concluding remarks before I do. I don't know if I am supposed to speak first before he does.
Yes, minority leader mostly opening statements are made by majority leader, then followed by minority leader. But concluding statements have to be first received from minority leader, then majority leader will conclude.
That's
So
fine. Thank you
opening
so much.
statement, majority leader speaks first, then you speak last. But when it comes to concluding, you speak first, then you speak last.
Right. Thank you so much for that wonderful guidance. And Mr. Speaker, like I mentioned already, it's been amazing. Just to still firmly mention that the motion before us is saying that we have to introduce a legal age cap that would be for presidential and parliamentary candidates. What that means is that we are putting a limitation, an age where beyond which or at which you cannot qualify to contest any of those elections. And that is what we are against. And listening to the majority speak, all I can hear is the youth, the youth, the youth. And I'm very thankful to one of their members who spoke and mentioned Jerry Rawlings. Because at the time Jerry Rawlings became president and so on, there was nothing like an age cap. So if there is no age cap and Rawlings was able to still contest and won elections, what prevents us now? Why are we making it look as though because there is the absence of age cap, that is why the youth are not in office? And someone was asking the question, why are we allowing the aged to rule us? Have you put yourself across and has not been voted for? Because of course, nobody appoints leaders over us. All these parliamentary candidates and or parliamentarians and these presidents, we vote for them. All right. So we shouldn't make it look as though because there is no age cap, that is why we have elderly people ruling over us. No, we make the choice. We go to the polls to make that choice. And so instead of using legality to kind of hiding behind legalities to not work on our own confidence and our own skills and so on, it's not the right thing to do. So we still believe that, Mr. Speaker, this motion should be thrown out outrightly. We don't agree that there should be a legal age cap, because it doesn't change anything. It doesn't really change anything. Whether there is legal age cap or not, no one is prevented from contesting elections, whether you are a young person or not. So, Mr. Speaker, this will be my concluding remark. I thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Minority Leader. Now we will take our concluding statement from Majority Leader. Majority Leaders, the floor
Yes.
is yours.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I thank you so much. Please, am I audible?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Speaker. I would want to thank the House for making a meaningful contribution to the motion that has been brought. I think as I served a notice, though late yesterday, I can see that members have actually prepared adequately to make their contributions to the motion. And I'm so happy, um, except that I would say that should be a conclave that we've went to or we've had with the minority. Minority, my very good brother Isaac. Uh, we've discussed at conclave. Let me put it that way. That should be a conclave we've had, and the agreement was that we are all buying into I mean the idea of setting a legal age cap. But it is just surprising to me that minority leader will turn up and then will be contributing otherwise. I know that some people are very good when it comes to being a minority leader, but I've never thought that my very good friend Isaac would be very good in this regard when it comes to being a minority leader, in the sense that he will be opposing the government's business. I am so surprised. Speaker, I think one contributor made a statement on the basis of constitutionality, and I think that we as youth lawmakers should not be seeing it with that lens, because it is our proposals that are going to shape our legal framework. So we shouldn't just leave it that, oh, it is against our constitution. Yes, we all know that this is not implemented in our constitution. It has never been passed. It's never been laid in parliament as a bill. Even in parliament, bills are laid for over years, but never been, I mean, been worked on. So our proposition is that this is not a law that has been passed or going to be suppressed on the youth, I mean, or the people of Ghana. It is now time for you and I as youth MPs to make the proposal. So this consideration we are doing now, this consideration stage, doesn't mean that we are bridging or there is a bridge of constitution. So I just want to set that tone clear, that there is no breach of constitution here. But as far as youth legislators are concerned here, we are making our contribution meaningfully to shaping our democracy. That is one thing I want them to understand. Ghana be yeah. Now, if me so it is our collective effort to shape our constitution. Now, there is this thing that I want all of us to understand as a house, that the debates or the motion that we are debating, if you can clearly see, they're saying that what an elderly person is seeing when sitting, when the younger one has climbed the ladder, you will not even, see what that person is seeing. I'm making this statement because these are frameworks or these are structures that we believe that it will safeguard our constitution, it will safeguard our democracy, with the sense that in a way they say something like number the a girl which is director obi aboje share now sans you. I don't know how to actually, my tree is very bad. What it means is that now we don't even see that obi aboje share fetch water, attach your, they say put it deep, dip your beard into the water. These are preventive measures. So I just want my friends from the minority to look at it from this angle, that we just want to safeguard our democracy, that in 2028 there will not be an independent candidate that will emerge somewhere over 90 years on the ballot paper that I'm coming to contest, because yes, I have the requisite knowledge and experience enough to lead the country. That is our argument. So the earlier we understand the context at which we are debating this, I think the better for this house. And as far as something as the majority leader and the majority caucus is concerned, we are going to agree to this motion. We are going to pass this, and proponent is going to be made through this Youth International Network to the committee, the Constitutional Review Committee, because there will be a stage where proper deliberations will be done thoroughly into the debate, as in the age to consider. One of my very good brother from the minority also stated that I am not on the view of stated clearly, emphatically, that we shouldn't base this motion today on I'm a minority, let me oppose, as my friend Isaac has surprised me. So I think it is something that when we are having this conversation, we should know that it is a proponent. And when it gets to a
Honorable
higher table, they
Majority,
will look at,
Majority Leader, kindly conclude for us.
yes, the wisest chair. I think we've had enough, but then as a majority leader, I think it's prudent that you allow me make the corrections, as the minority has failed to understand the motion that we are debating, because we are first of all not even debating competency, we are debating age cap. But I hear them saying that my people are talking about youth, my people are talking about competency, my people are only talking about the youthful exuberant or youthful energy. That is not all. I still believe that we need the elderly ones in our governance. I am not contesting that fact. But as far as we are concerned, we also just want to safeguard our legal framework to prevent the occurrence where people beyond ages that we believe that they are not energetic. That is all. It is not being that we are kicking them out of the system, or we want only youth to lead us. So, Speaker, I just want to conclude by saying that once we are of the view that this motion carries, I beg my colleagues on the other side that this is, with the few words I've explained, I believe that it should sink down their skull, that it is important and prudent that we buy into this legal age gap to safeguard my brother minority leader and myself, because the better the earlier we appreciate this, the better for our democracy going forward, looking into the future. Speaker, so with these few words, I thank you, and also want to say happy birthday to my majority chief whip, Honorable Wisdom. Today is his birthday. I know very soon he will be sharing with us the location, so that probably Mr. Speaker will have it and give it to us. The course of announcement and then his closing remarks, so that we'll know where the location is, and then we can also go and tap into his kebab and drink as well. Thank you very much, Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much, leaders, for and your taking time to research and then giving us strong points. So with no further submissions, may I ask that an honorable member move a motion for us to move on to the next item on the list. Any honorable member at all can do that. She move the motion that we move on to the next item on the list.
Mr. Speaker, I think the next item on the list is announcement. And I don't know if the debate on the motion has been. I think with your guidance, Mr. Speaker, I think you first put the question, and then we find a resolution to, as the House agrees before the next item, or just with your guidance. Just a reminder, Mr. Speaker.
All right, thank you very much. I wanted us, after the motion has been moved, I will put the question and probably but since you asked that, then I think I'll put the question, then from there we move a motion to look at the next item on the list. Thank you very much. So for now, I'll put the question. The motion before this August house today is, and I quote, this house introduces a legal age cap for presidential and parliamentary candidates in Ghana, unquote. As many as that are in support of this motion should say aye.
Ah, aye.
As many as against the motion should say no.
No.
No, no, no,
No.
no.
All right. Thank you very much, honorable members. The ayes have it, and motion carried.
Yeah, yeah.
Honorable Speaker, this one here, the nose have it.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So the next item is announcement. So, is there any announcement from majority bench?
Okay,
Any
Mr.
announcement
Speaker.
from majority leader?
Yes, the wisest chair. I thank you so much for your rulings. I think the minority has this habit of always stretching whenever it comes to voice votes. And I think that is very unfair of them. Few of them has actually stretched their voices, although there were thousands of people that have joined and debated. So I think you've actually ruled wide. And so I think the International Youth Network for United Nations Security Council Resolution 2250 has the executive arms branch.
Connected.
Are the youth ministers. Youth ministers branch are active. I don't know if all youth MPs know that we have the executive arms. So those who were at the inauguration saw the few ministers who were available were sworn in as ministers under the youth branch. So I think Honorable Wisdom is also one of the youth ministers. And as much as Samson is concerned, the majority leader of government business, I would not want my friend Isaac to obstruct any government business, but I will offer him a role in my government if he wants an appointment. So I would not
Wow.
I will not hesitate to engage with His Excellency Justice Harvey Delasi to make sure that both members from Honorable Simon Peter, please can you mute yourself, please? All right, thank you very much. So, Speaker, I would not hesitate to actually compile the list of the members who are interested to join in joining the executive arm, both minority and the majority, to also bring their list, as I also engage the president, the youth president, that will also make the appointments. Because at the moment, some youth ministers are not performing. So my last conversation with Mr. President was that some of them, or most majority of them, are going to be kicked out of their roles. So their appointments are going to be revoked, and therefore we might need people to occupy those roles. So irrespective of your caucus majority minority, I think you should be alert. Once the notice is served, then you can just bring your names, and then we enroll you to the youth government system of the ministers branch. So I think that is all I have for now. Thank you, Speaker.
All right, thank you very much, Majority Leader. Now, minority bench. Any announcements from your end?
Right,
Minority
Honorable
caucus.
Speaker. Right, Honorable. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Good, good. So thank you very much, right, Honorable Speaker. Well, let me say this first. I just want to encourage all members on the call to take information on the various caucus platforms very seriously. It appears, especially on my side, my chief whip has been doing a great job, but it appears response is a bit low. And so this is just an admonishment to all of us. Let's take engagements, especially on the caucus platforms, very, very seriously. And only to end to say that, Mr. Speaker, your ruling, well, the minority bench is not surprised that you're ruling at all, knowing the caucus. But all we can promise you is that the minority will carefully go through and accordingly act per the procedures we have to review this particular decision you've made, because clearly the voice vote, I don't see the majority where they were. But well, let's see. So, Mr. Speaker, you get ready for us. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So, from the speakership bench, we have two important announcements for the House. The first one is that at the end of this month, the complementary list for parliamentarians will be confirmed. Then we'll start working on issuing appointment letters. So get ready for that. Then the next one is that those interested in committees, very soon we have to be forming committees. And so those that will be interested to join some committees should try and then be jotting down committees they will have interest in serving with. So when it's time, we'll announce, and then everybody will have to select the committee that they want to work with based on the experience they have or the skills they have that they think they can help that committee to function very well. So these are the two important announcements coming from the speakership table. So very soon it will be announced on our pages, and then we'll act accordingly. So this is just to let us prepare ahead. Thank you very much. Now, if there is no any submission again, I think I would like to ask that any member of the House move a motion for the adjournment of the sitting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Samson Sechuafia, Youth MP for Afajatu South Constituency and the Majority Leader. I rise to move a motion that this Honorable House stand adjourned till further notice. I so move, Speaker. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Minority caucus, any second to the motion.
Hi, Honorable
Aye.
Daniel Kakaku. I second the motion.
Speaker,
Minority,
just an indication. I think with our procedures, I don't know if the minority leader is available in his chair, because I can clearly see that he's online. I don't know if he's, not with the phone at the moment. But per procedures, once
Honorable
the
Samson,
majority
please, he's having network issues, so permit him, please. He's having network issues. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, don't we have any member from the minority caucus?
I just
All right, any
seconded, please.
seconder, regardless of the caucus, any seconder to the motion. All right. Thank you very much. Then motion moved and seconded. So this house is adjourned till further notice. Thank you very much, honorable members, for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.